Here we will see architecture of ADO.NET. ADO.NET uses a multi-layer architecture with few concepts as connection, reader, command, adapter and dataset objects. ADO.NET introduced data providers, which is a set of special classes which are used to access a specific database, execute SQL commands and retrieve the data. Data providers are extensible. Developers can create their providers for a specific data source. Some examples of data providers include SQL Server providers, OLEDB, ODBC and Oracle providers. ADO.NET architecture consists of 6 parts: connection, command, data reader, data adapter, data set and data view. Here is an architecture of ADO.NET. Connection class creates a connection to the database through provider. Command helps to execute the SQL command. Data reader is a connected record set which helps to read the record in forward direction. Data adapter is a bridge between the data set and the database. Data set is a disconnected record set which is used to read the record in forward or backward direction, also for updating. And data view helps to view, sort, search and filter the database. First we will see connection object. The connection object is required to connect to a backend database that may be SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, Access, etc. It requires information such as location of database, database name and database authentication mechanism. It also consists of provider which allows to specify driver which can access the data source in binary form. With provider we can set up a connection from an application and gain the access to the database. The connection is created using the connection object and the backend data source must be connected using this connection. Next is command object. It uses a connection object to execute SQL queries. Queries can be in the form of inline text, stored procedure or directly table access. Various commands are executed by the command class. The command class delivers methods for storing and executing SQL statements and stored actions. Different methods with command class are execute non-query. This method is used to execute SQL statement that doesn't return any value like insert, update and delete. This method returns an integer that is the sum of rows affected by the query. Then execute reader. This technique returns a data reader object that can be used to fill a data table object or used straight for producing reports and so on. Then execute scalar. This method is a kind of query that returns total count of rows or intended value. This method returns a single value only. Then execute XML reader. Obtains data from the SQL Server 2000 database using XML stream and returns an XML reader object. Next is data reader. Data reader provides an easy way to read data from the database. Data reader class is used in conjunction with the command class that performs an SQL select statement and then access resumed rows. The data reader measure operation is used to retrieve the data. We can read the data in forward direction only. Then data adapter. The data adapter performs an operation on the data from the command object and then writes the data to the data set. It serves as a bridge between the data set and the data source. The data adapter is useful when consuming data-bound controls in the Windows form, but basically it is used to bring an easy way to accomplish the connection between your application and the core database table, views and stored procedures. Then data set. A disconnected record set can be browsed in both directions. And it is also possible to insert, update or delete data set. The data adapter fills a data set using data. Data set is essentially a collection of data table objects, where each object contains a group of the data columns and data row objects. Then data view. A data view enables you to modify the appearance of the data stored in the data table using its data binding skill. You may alter the sort order of the data in a table or filter it based on the row state or on a filter expression using data view.